Hello, everybody, and welcome to the May Queens podcast. I am Mary Graves.
And I'm Heather.
And we are talking today about 2021 because I think that's, a huge topic now that we are finally in 2021. We missed a lot of movies in 2020, although if you listened to our podcast a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago, that there were a ton of movies that still came out on streaming in 2020. But there are a lot of movies that were supposed to be in 2020 that are now going to be in 2021, plus the list of a whole bunch of other movies I had never heard of until looking up stuff for this podcast to look forward to. So we are going to start talking about those. But before we do, Heather, how are things going with you? How's Heather Loves Horror going?
It's going well. I still have not gotten my last episode up. Every time I get to editing, it'll like freeze or it's pouring down raining, so the internet's not working. So that has been a little frustrating. But I had a meeting last night for one upcoming episode, and then I got 2 tomorrow night. So
nice.
I gotta figure out the editing.
Well, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. So that's good.
Yeah. It's just when the computer gets slow, it like aggravates me. How's everything going with you?
Not too shabby. I also, as I've already let you know, I've had my own share of technical difficulties. I thought that I lost my ability to access all my video footage for Cat Coven, which still did not come out this week like it's supposed to. But I remember talking a week or two ago about the new Mac OS that came out that I updated my laptop with, and a few of my software programs I can't use anymore because of it. But for some reason, when I updated this OS, my video files on my Canon camera, it's like a semi-professional, the Canon Vixia. It's not a DSLR like a lot of people use, but I can't access my videos on there directly on my laptop anymore. Like I used to be able to open the Photos app on my laptop and everything would be there. The photos I take on that camera will show up, but for some reason the videos won't, even though they're the exact same type of file as my Nikon camera, my SLR, and that still shows up. So I have to, the stupidest thing, I have to use iMovie, which I never use, to just get the videos on my laptop. And then I cannot drag the video files from iMovie to my desktop to use it on the system I want to edit on. I have to delete from iMovie. This is in case anybody else has this issue. This is how I'm getting around it. Delete my video files, put them in my trash can, and then when I go into my trash can, they turn into a video file, which for some reason they're not when I drag it directly from iMovie. So then I drag it out of the trash onto my desktop, and then I can put it in the software I want to edit it in. It's like 20 different steps now. It's ridiculous. So I hope they fix that, but
hopefully so. That sounds like very time consuming.
well, yeah, it took me like 2 to 3 hours on Sunday when I was trying to edit things together to get that figured out. And then I was so frustrated that I just couldn't get in the like filming mood until the evening. And then the Browns Steelers game was on, and the Browns kicked ass. Yeah, they're right here. So I didn't get a lot done on Sunday that I wanted to, and now I'm here. So, but okay, so let's talk 2021 because I am super excited looking at some of these movies. The first one I have on my list is one that was supposed to come out in 2020, and that is Spiral from the Book of Saw, which until I saw the preview and looked on IMDb, I didn't realize didn't just star Chris Rock, but that also Samuel L. Jackson was going to be in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
They say it's supposed to come to DVD and Blu-ray this month, and they're calling it Shudder Spiral. So I'm like, is it gonna be?
You talking about Shudder, like the streaming service Shudder?
Yeah, and well, when I thought we had said that there were 2 spirals, and so that's what I was wondering. But whenever I clicked on it, it said their name, unless it's just not linking up together somehow, and it's dragging me back and forth between pages. I don't know.
I think that's it. I think that maybe if they're saying that it's the Saw movie on that website and then the link takes you to Shudder's Spiral, then there's a miscommunication on their end, because the other Spiral, which I haven't watched and I want to because I heard it was good, has something to do with I think it's a couple moves into a house that other couples have lived in. And what they don't know is that the neighborhood has been doing like ritual sacrificing of the people who live in this house. And the spiral is, I don't know, spiraling out of control, or the spiraling is related to the ritual that they do. But yeah, totally different movie.
Sounds good.
I like that from the previews I've seen for Spiral, this Spiral, the Saw Spiral, uh that it has that wit, that comedy, a little bit of humor that Chris Rock brings to a movie, and also Samuel L. Jackson. He's just hilarious. In the preview I saw, he throws in a motherfucker, so you know it's a good Samuel L. Jackson movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, at the very end, like it doesn't seem like a Saw movie until the very like last 2 seconds where you get to see one of the devices. It looks like some sort of chain being wrapped around a person's head and chaining them to a table. It looks insane. So I'm excited to see how, and it's not a completely different director actually. The director for this movie worked on Saw 2 through I think 5 or 6. I think there were 7 Saws altogether. But he worked on my favorite one, which was Saw 2. So I'm very excited to see what he comes up with for this.
Yeah, I think it'll be really good.
Let's see. Oh, and this one is coming out May 21st, 2021. So be on the lookout for that. All right. The second movie that I have on my list is Escape Room 2. Have you seen Escape Room 1? What did you think of the first one?
I watched the first half and I didn't finish it. I never got around to finishing it. I do that sometimes, so I can't give you a good answer.
Okay, but didn't finish it? Did you not finish it because you just couldn't get into it, or you just didn't like stuff happened and you didn't have time and so it got on the back burner?
ADD. Stuff was coming up and then I get sidetracked. So I'm like, oh yeah, I need to finish that, and then I don't, and then like before long I was packing up my stuff and moving, and then I haven't really thought about it until you mentioned it.
Okay, well, I watched this movie. There was one day back in 2020 where I was just like, I want to watch all horror. I just want to sit down and I want to watch a few horror movies. I don't want to do anything else except for maybe make lunch and dinner and breakfast. And then I decided to watch. I watched Escape Room at night. I watched. I can't remember what the first movie was I watched that day. And I watched Needful Things in the middle. I remember that. That was the one movie I had seen before. But the first movie I watched and the last movie I watched, I had never seen before. And the second movie was Escape Room. I actually really liked it. I think it's a PG-13 movie. So there's not a ton of like gore, swearing, sex, violence, whatever. I mean, there's violence. There's plenty of violence. And it leaves it open for a sequel, but I guess there wasn't really a plan for there to be a sequel. But the movie had a $9 million budget, and they ended up making $150 million on this movie. Yeah, so they had like no choice but to make the sequel. So I'm kind of excited to see where it could go.
I'm gonna have to finish the other half so I can watch that.
Not to spoil anything, but there are survivors. They are in this sequel too. So I don't know if they're going to be killed off right away or if they're actually going to make it through the entire movie, but I'm excited to see what they do.
There was a girl in there with long dark hair, right? Like long dark brown hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know. I want to know if she made it or not.
Did you see True Blood? Okay, so you know Jessica with the red hair.
Yes, I love her. She was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. Well, she's in the first Escape Room too. She was one of my favorite because she was like the strong female, like she could climb things that people needed to climb to get to whatever clue they needed to.
See, how do I not remember that? Because how do I remember the brown-headed girl but not Jessica from True Blood?
Well, how far did you get in the movie?
I thought it was like halfway through. Maybe it wasn't quite halfway through. I don't know. I feel like I watched more of it than I did what's the movie that had Lucy Hale in it last year? Oh, the
Truth or Dare.
Well, I watched that. I watched all of Truth or Dare because I don't know why, but I really do like Lucy Hale. I like her in the horror movies. I liked her in Pretty Little Liars, the series. But oh my gosh, what did I just say it was again?
Fantasy Island.
Yeah, I only watched like 15 minutes of it. But see, like sometimes I can watch stuff and I'll be not in the best mood and then I just can't finish it or I don't like it. And then I go back and I rewatch it and I'm like, oh my gosh, like how did you not like this before?
I totally understand. Your mood can totally influence what you're into in that moment. And then you're in a bad mood, you're watching something where people are really happy, and then you're all of a sudden like, this is the worst program ever. I've watched things that I've super loved at one point, and then I've been in a bad mood when I watched them. I watched it, and I'm like, I don't really want to watch this again. And then it took me a couple years before I revisit it, and I'm like, oh, my old friend is back. All right, and then okay, here's another one that got pushed. Like Escape Room was supposed to come out in 2020 as well, I believe, and that didn't come. That's coming out in August of this year. Candyman. They call it a spiritual sequel to the original Candyman. I was so disappointed when they moved this to 2021. I was so ready for this to come out around, I think it was supposed to come out around Halloween. And they pushed it because they couldn't get it in theaters because theaters weren't open. And I think that was a travesty. I mean, granted, Candyman, probably a movie that will be even better watching in theaters. But I watched a few movies on cinema on Amazon. I can't speak. Cinema on Amazon, and it worked out really great. You make sure you don't have distractions around you and you just watch the movie. Candyman, I could do that for too. Turn off all the lights, keep the mirrors away from you. But yeah, so it got pushed to this year, and I didn't. Let's see, the director for this movie is Nia DaCosta, and apparently she got picked to do Captain Marvel 2. So I love that Marvel does this. They'll take directors who do like small independent movies, or horror films usually are considered small independent movies, and they'll use them for these grandiose movies. And for some reason, the talent that these smaller directors bring create these huge epic movies for Marvel. So I'm excited to see what she does for both Candyman and for Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah. See, here's my Candyman holy grail.
I saw.
Anyway.
Also, what is that? Is that you in the drawing behind, like right next to the Candyman?
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh, someone did a horror mashup of me a couple years ago. His name was Skull Fracture on Instagram. I don't know what it is now, but he did a horror mashup of me being Baby Firefly. I was like, I love it. You can't see, but I have a 3 from Hell poster there, and then I have a picture of Baby Firefly holding the gun, and it's a fake autograph, but I don't care. It's a reprint. It's a reprint of her real autograph, but I consider it fake because it's not. She didn't do it herself onto that one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway,
I had, like most kids growing up in the 90s, I had an obsession with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And so I had my Teen Beat magazine, and I signed up for the Jonathan Taylor Thomas fan club. And they mail you. Whoop, that's my phone that just dropped. And they mailed me a picture of Jonathan Taylor Thomas with a computerized signature on it. So I'm like, close enough, I guess. I'd rather actually meet the guy though too, but souvenir.
For real.
Okay. A little bit more about Candyman. From what I got from the previews, it looks like it's not just about Candyman coming back through his spirit to kill a bunch of people who say his name. It looks like Candyman is actually possessing the lead guy of this movie. So I'm excited to see how they're gonna make that happen. But it looks like the guy is somehow connected to Candyman. Maybe it's just the emotions he's feeling, or maybe it's an actual bloodline thing, but it looks like he's becoming Candyman, and when he's around people, he's actually doing the murdering himself through Candyman's spirit. So I'm excited to see.
I'm glad that they have Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd, in it. So that makes my day.
I keep the originals. I'm betting that they kill off Virginia Madsen though in like the first half an hour of the movie.
Yeah, that, or it's like a flashback, like something like that. She'll probably be killed off really fast. So yeah,
gotta kill off the returning characters, right? Isn't that a Randy from Scream 2 rule?
I think so.
All right. Malignant is a movie that is coming out this coming year, but I don't think it has or this year, but I don't think it has a set date yet. And it is being directed by James Wan, and there's no information about it other than that. And that he said, and I quote, "It is a slice of horror," or I'm sorry, somebody else said this about James Wan. "It is a slice of horror that James Wan hasn't explored." So James Wan, the Insidious movies, Saw. Was he in Saw? Yeah, he did Saw.
He did The Conjuring too, right?
Right, the whole universe.
He's very talented.
He's incredibly, yeah. He's in. Oh, and he also did Aquaman.
Did he?
Yeah, he was one of the horror movie small time directors. Although he was already huge in horror, and Marvel tapped him for Aquaman. I'm betting he's doing the Aquaman sequel, but I don't know that for sure. But yeah, he did Aquaman, which is like, I'm sorry, not Marvel. Oh, people are gonna hate me for saying that. DC. Tapped him. DC movie. Don't kill me, fans. Don't kill me. He did the DC movie Aquaman, and why I think about that right now is because it's one of like the best movies DC has done for their universe. And honestly, I haven't watched most of them because I know that they're not well received. Wonder Woman, love it. I still have to watch the sequel, which I have HBO Max, so I have to do that before it gets pulled. And then Aquaman was very much loved. I know there are some people who think that the special effects aren't that great. And to me, if you're comparing special effects of Marvel compared to DC, I agree that Marvel is better. Sometimes the DC special effects just look a little too fake, like everybody's made of rubber when things are going down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's about. But yeah, Aquaman was a great story, great characters, great actors and actresses, and then Wonder Woman. But James Wan did the first Aquaman, so hopefully they tap him for number 2.
Hopefully so.
Okay, wait. We should. Oh, that's right. Okay, the lead actress in *Malignant* is actually the lead actress of Annabelle, the very first Annabelle, and her name, oddly enough, is also Annabelle. It's Annabelle Willis or Wallace. I can't read my own handwriting. This is why I've got my phone by my side. And I found out that the lead actress Annabelle Wallace and I share a birthday. She's only 1 year older than me, but we're both September 5th babies.
Was she the wife?
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering, now to think about it, I think she might have been the Grace from Peaky Blinders. Now I'm thinking about it. But what do you say are both what babies?
We're both September 5th babies. Literally just born 1 year before I was. So we share that. I'm looking her up now. I'm like, is she in Peaky Blinders? I have never seen Peaky Blinders.
If so, it would be Grace. I might, but I have a bad memory, or all people look alike, and they have looked nothing alike.
That's her. She's on
It
there.
is? Oh, it did once.
The only problem I have with, I did not like Annabelle. Like, I think of her in that role and I think about that movie, and I like Annabelle Creation, and I haven't seen Annabelle Comes Home yet. But first Annabelle, man, that was kind of a stinker of a movie.
I didn't like it at first, and my best friend went on about it. Went on and on about it. I watched it again. I didn't like it. The third time, I was like, okay, it's not so bad. But I liked the other two. I watched Creation a lot. And then Annabelle Comes Home, like, so many people hated it. I loved it. It was more humorous and kind of more family-ish, like if you can call this series family, like, but I enjoyed it. But I think that if you enjoyed Creation more, then there's a good chance that you will enjoy Annabelle Comes Home.
Well, see, I liked Creation because the deaths really shocked me. I think they went there. With the first Annabelle, you also have like the most interesting character killing herself off for this couple that totally didn't earn it, and frankly, to me, gives the demon what it wants. So that doesn't seem like the right answer. But it felt there was no good payoff in that movie to me. But with Annabelle Creation, you got the kids, you got the bully kids who get the shit scared out of them. So that was satisfying. You have the girl from Ouija Origin of Evil plays like the main girl, not the one that's being possessed, but her friend.
But she's getting to be one who's like really big into horror, like Anya Joy Taylor, and like Olivia Cooke was kind of big in it for a while.
Lulu Wilson.
It is her name? Okay. Lulu Wilson.
Yeah, she was in because she was in Ouija Origin of Evil is probably the first thing I saw her in. Which perfect haircut just makes her look creepy right off the bat. Then Annabelle Creation, and then Becky. I know there's got to be something else in the middle there, or even before all of that. But yeah, she's becoming a horror like powerhouse. I
Oh,
love. I just hope that she's not one of those people who is like, I did all this horror, but like I'm not really into horror anymore, and I don't want to do horror anymore. Own it. Like you are a ticket seller. We love to see you. You are just you light up the screen. You're really good at being creepy, but you're also really good at being vulnerable, which we saw that in Annabelle creation. And so I'm really, really hoping that she grows up to just own it.
yeah. I hope so because she's good.
Okay. The next one on my movie list is not one that like I saw the preview and it wasn't something like super exciting, so I'll just glance over it. It's called 12 O'clock, and actually it's an Indian horror, and that's why it kind of came forth in my mind because when I think of like national horror, I think Italy, Korea, Japan, Australia, even. But I've never really thought about horror movies from India. I always think of like Bollywood, but apparently India is churning out horror movies too, and now I feel like I need to dive into like what they've done in the past. And it's basically about a young girl who is traumatized. She's traumatized with nightmares and incidents of eerie sleepwalking, and it might be a possession movie. And this movie already came out. It came out January 8th. I have no idea where it's available.
I'll check Google.
There you go. But it is already available somewhere out there. So if you can find it, let us know what you think of it. Comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. The next movie I've got is Chaos Walking, which stars Tom Holland, who I absolutely love. Yeah, he's my favorite Spider-Man, and I can happily say that he's always been of age, even though playing a high schooler, and I've always thought he's hot. So now I don't feel like such a creep.
He is adorable. You said it was Chaos Follows?
Chaos Walking.
Oh, wow. Not even close. Anyway, go ahead.
This one comes out soon, actually, March 5th. And it also has, and I know our friend B Movie Betty, or Betty the Meme Slayer, I think she goes by now. She'll love this. It has Mads Mikkelsen in it.
Oh,
Who is
yeah, love it.
I never got into Hannibal, unfortunately. I know that it's over now, and I don't know if it had a definitive ending, so I'm not sure I'm ever gonna go and watch it. Just because I hate starting shows that I know are never gonna have a completion.
Yeah.
But there was a movie he was in, I think it was a Netflix movie, and I never watched it, and I want to go and watch this, where he wears an eye patch. Super hot in the previews. I don't know what it is, but I think it's a Netflix movie. So if you know this movie, feel free to comment down below too, or I'll just Google it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. This is what makes it so interesting, is that it's a dystopian world movie where there are no women in it.
What? Whoa.
Yeah, but it's a stacked cast. I only took partial notes at this point, so I'm gonna look up everything. But it actually is a really stacked cast because it's not just Mads and Tom Holland. You've got Daisy Ridley from the Star Wars movies, Cynthia Erivo, who she played Harriet in the Harriet Tubman movie, or she played Harriet Tubman in Harriet. But she was the star of one of my favorite movies from the last like couple of years, Bad Times at the El Royale. Have you seen?
I have not. Everyone's spoken so highly of it. I wanted to see it when it came out, but it's just I've procrastinated.
There are a ton of movies I've procrastinated on as well, but this one I watched because I thought my dad would like it, and I was right. Because it starts off kind of slow, but there's like really witty dialogue, some not so subtle racism thrown in there, but they're going with the times, and you're supposed to hate the character the words are coming out of. So that's how they get away with that kind of stuff. But I guess it's based on an old play, and when the action kicks in, it's like non-stop. You even have what's his face, Thor, who I have a doll of in the background over here somewhere. You have Chris. Oh shoot, what is his name? His
Chris Pine.
No, the different Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yes.
You have Chris Hemsworth playing a cult leader in this movie, and it's insane. And Cynthia Erivo is in it as one of the lead characters, and she gets to sing in this movie too, and she's just got a stunning voice. And she's opposite Jeff Bridges, who is also just he's got the most touching story in this entire movie. So if you haven't seen Bad Times at the El Royale, absolutely go watch that. But Cynthia Erivo will also be in this movie. And so I'm excited to see what kind of role she plays. And Daisy Ridley, too, in a world where there's no women. Let's see. Chaos Walking. Okay, March 5th, 2021. And the director is Doug Liman, who I've never, I guess he did Swingers. So he's been around for a while. I don't think I've seen any of his movies. But okay. All right. The next movie on my list is Don't Breathe 2. I have not seen Don't Breathe 1. Have you seen Don't Breathe 1?
Yes. You think, yeah, like it has kind of like a
already had a lot spoiled for me, so feel free to talk freely.
Well, it has a cliffhanger ending where you're pretty sure he gets the one you think is going to survive. But it was pretty intense. Like, I know you've seen the previews, and like you say, you've had it spoiled for you, like where they're like in a room, like a basement or something of his, and it's all dark, or the garage. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it in a while. But so they're like, it's dark, he's blind, but they're still scared to death, and he's just like he's a force you just don't want to reckon with. You just want to leave him alone. But I feel like it will probably be a pretty good follow-up. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I mean, we'll see. Well, I think you'll like.
I know from the first one, I know that he had a woman in his basement. All right, so this is all the stuff I had spoiled for me. And that he was, God, so awful. He impregnated her with like a turkey baster because his daughter had died in a car accident. What I don't know is this the woman that caused the car accident? But if it's not, then like where did he get this woman? And I know he was going to do the same thing because she either killed herself or she got killed. That's something I don't know. And that he was going to use the turkey baster on the lead character, who I think her name is Jane Levy or Levy.
Yeah, she was Mia in the Evil Dead remake.
Right. See, I know her as oh god, I don't even know her name, but she was on the show Suburgatory.
You watched that with Jeremy Sisto? I loved that show. It was so sad when they canceled it because they had brought Alicia Silverstone on, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. And Malin Ackerman was in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe you watched that.
Okay, tip, because I don't know. Did you watch? Okay, so you talk about Alicia Silverstone, but she left a whole season before the show ended. Okay, yes, Alicia Silverstone was pregnant in the show. But then when the baby is born, she leaves. I know they're dating, and she leaves the baby. She doesn't leave with the baby. But there's a whole season after she leaves. Did you see any of that?
I'm not remembering any of it. I thought I saw every season, but did she end up with her mom, Malin? Did she? Why can't I remember now?
There is one point. Okay, so yeah, that's the ending of season 2, where she runs away because she gets into that huge fight with the blonde chick who's a bully to her, who I can't think of her name right now, but she's the daughter of the blonde chick that her dad is dating, and they're going to move in together in a new house. So she decides to run away and live on the street, and she runs into her mom, who decided to stay in New York, and she moves in with her mom for the summer. And that's where season 3 picks up. If you want to watch all the episodes that are available, it is on the CW Seed app. So not the CW app, the CW Seed app, which has a lot of old television shows that were like 1 or 2 seasons, as well as some like bigger shows too. But that's a free streaming app. You don't have to pay for a subscription. You don't need to sign up for anything. Put your email on there. You just download it on your Roku or go to the website or, whatever, Roku, Google Play, whatever. Or go to the CW Seed, SEED website, and you can find a lot of free stuff streaming there that's not elsewhere. Like the 1 season of The Secret Circle. I don't think that's on Netflix anymore, but it's there. But I just rewatched all 3 seasons last year of Suburgatory, and it was so good. It made me want to cry that it's not on anymore.
I'm definitely gonna rewatch I might have seen the third season and just don't remember, but it's looking like I didn't.
Well, the first season 2 only lasted like 12 episodes, I think, 11 episodes, so it wasn't even a full season. And there's kind of an ending, but there's definitely something left open that I wish we could have an ending for. That if they had just finished that season, maybe we would have had an ending. I mean, I feel like with everything that television stations or networks get from us being viewers, like instead of being productive people in society, we waste. I'm not gonna say waste. It's not waste. I love watching TV and I love watching movies, and I feel like I get inspired sometimes by it. But all the time we spend watching these things instead of actually doing things, like they're getting advertising money off of this from us, and I feel like they kind of owe us a complete story because
Mhm.
we've invested so much of our time in it and we're only getting entertained. We're not getting paid to watch your stuff. So
Right.
is great, but there's so much entertainment now that I think you owe us a full story. Finish yours
Mhm.
and then go find a replacement.
Yeah.
Uh okay. Oh god, this next one on my list. This next one on my list is it blows my mind because it's a Key and Peele movie, basically. Okay, no. This is the Key and Peele one. Yes, yes. Okay, it's a horror comedy because of course it is because it's Key and Peele. Jordan Peele wrote the screenplay and it's directed by some guy named Henry Selick, who I do not know. But it's a dark horror stop motion animation movie about two demon brothers played by Key and Peele, Jordan Michael Key. Wait, I'm sorry, Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele. Just combine the two of them as two demon brothers who escape the underworld. And I don't think there's a set date for this yet, but it's called Wendell and Wild, and it sounds wild. And honestly, I've been sad about Key and Peele going away for so long that I love that they're reuniting for this.
I had to write that down.
Let's see. I'm just double checking. Yeah, there's no release date time and there's no preview yet. But yeah, it should be coming out this year, and I'm so here for that. So, oh, then well, first of all, did you ever watch Key and Peele?
No, I haven't seen that one.
I think they are on Hulu now. Yeah, like if you like sketch comedy, this is definitely one of those to watch. And it's not like SNL sketch comedy where, the laughing of people is what adds to it. This is just straight up like Amy Schumer's show, which I wish would come back as well. And before that, the Chappelle show, duh, he like started that whole thing. Uh, so if you like those kind of shows, Key and Peele, amazing. It only lasted like 4 or 5 seasons, but their comedy was just absolute gold. If you ever hear somebody call a person named Aaron Aaron,
Oh, that's
they created it.
okay. Yeah, I think I'd like that.
The next movie on my list is one that you and I have already kind of talked about last week when we got off track with Tourist Trap. The Resident Evil reboot. It's supposed to come out this year. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no information on this movie yet, though. It's supposed to come out this year, and there's no like
Movie poster.
no. I don't even think there's a cast list out there. Or maybe there is. No, I don't think there is a cast list because I couldn't tell if there is an Alice character or not.
I saw a cast list because it showed a Jill Valentine. She has like long brown hair, and in the game she's got the short brown hair. But you know,
Okay.
but it might not be a full cast. I know they have part of it, but like there's no, like you said, there's pretty much nothing else. Like not even a movie poster.
Nope. Oh, well, okay. There's the words Resident Evil on a black background. That's it. That's their movie poster. And I guess the biggest name on here that I recognize, because I don't know a lot of today's actors, is Donald Logue, who was on Grounded for Life, which was another sitcom I used to love.
He's the only one I noticed that I know of personally as well.
Oh, there is the shirtless guy from the Babysitter movies. From the he's going to be in it too. So I wonder if he'll be shirtless. Okay, so that's coming out, and it's supposed to be coming out this year. So we'll see if they can stick to that timeline. The next movie I have is Godzilla versus Kong. which I have not seen Kong Skull Island yet. And I know I should, especially as a Samuel L. Jackson fan. He is in that, right?
On which one?
Kong Skull Island.
Who'd you say again?
Samuel L. Jackson.
I think so. I just, when you said Godzilla versus Kong, my heart fluttered because Alexander Skarsgård's in it. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. Was he in Skull Island?
I don't think so. But I forget stuff, so I don't, like, he might have been, and I just don't remember.
Well, I know he wasn't in the Godzilla, well, the first Godzilla movie from a few years ago. The one with Brian.
The Breaking Bad?
Yeah, the Breaking Bad guy.
I couldn't think of his name, but you had it.
I almost said Ben Cranston. I'm like, no, that's not right. Cranston, but it's Brian Cranston. And if I'm wrong and I'm just so confident in my wrongness, you feel free to, you comment down below if I'm wrong too. Plug in that YouTube channel. But I loved that first Godzilla movie, and I haven't seen King of the Monsters yet, the sequel, the one with Millie Bobby Brown in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
But you haven't seen it either?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, I watched that preview 1,000 times though, and I think I built it up in my head so much that I'm almost afraid to watch it.
Really? I've watched the newer ones, or what, I get confused with all of them actually, but I like watching them with my boys. But like when it comes to like timeline placing, all that and stuff, like, yeah, I'm not so good. I can't do it. So many.
Okay, so I was looking up how many Godzilla centric movies there are. Not even just, you get into the Kong movies and there's more there too. But I was thinking about my Halloween watch list for this year, because I did one for the first time last year and that was a lot of fun. And I've never been into the kaiju. They're called kaijus, right? I've never really been into those movies, but the few I've seen I've liked. And I thought maybe that's what my Halloween list will be. Just a bunch of kaiju movies. I want to see Mothra. I want to see, okay, those are really the only ones I know off the top of my head. But I think I might watch those for Halloween.
I love those. I love the older ones. Like I got that. Have you seen them?
I have not. The Cosmic Monster? No.
And then I got one more right here. Oh shit. But you can keep talking while I pull it out. That's not bad.
What is the Godzilla movie? Because I know the El Rey network, which is like impossible to find unless you're buying cable. The El Rey network did a marathon leading up to New Year's a few years back, where they showed Godzilla movies every day. It was like a kaiju New Year or something.
So cool.
And that same year, they did a Nightmare Before Christmas on Elm Street marathon, where they just kept showing the Nightmare on Elm Street movies over and over again. I was dog sitting at the time, so that's what I had on in the background, like all week. But there was one preview of Godzilla where it's obviously a man in a costume, and he jumps up to block something. It's just the weirdest move I've ever seen, and I want to know what Godzilla movie that happens in, because that I would need to watch that movie.
I don't know if you've seen, what is it, Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla 2. I believe it's the second one to that, but I might be wrong. But it has like Godzilla has like a I think it's like his baby brother or something, or he takes him on as his baby brother, and he's just so cute. And my youngest loves it. But that, and I too. These are right here, but so I wonder. I'm gonna rewatch that. I wish you lived close by and we could like rewatch this before they do another one, just to see if there are any similarities or anything.
You gotta do like well, I'm sure I could find it, but we could do like a Zoom watch where you just point your camera towards your video screen, your TV screen. That way. I keep telling my one brother my one brother lives a few hours away, and he wants to watch local Cleveland sports because this is where he grew up. And he has issues because their like network CBS will show the games local to him and not local to here. And I'm like, dude, you have FaceTime. I will FaceTime with you and just point my iPad or my laptop towards our TV screen, and you can watch it that way.
Such a simple solution.
There you go. And it's not illegal because you're not sharing it publicly.
That's true. Good thinking.
And you're not making money off of it. I think if you were having like a private meeting where you were screening a movie, and it's not a public domain movie, I think you could get in trouble for that if you were having people like pay you money.
Yeah.
But not between family. Okay, I have a few. I'm just gonna throw out a couple of names because they're listed as horror movies, but they're not in my consideration horror movies. There's Morbius, which is the like brother to Venom movie. Not that Morbius is the brother to Venom, but Morbius is kind of in that Venom ring of Marvel movies. And from what I hear, they're actually bringing Venom and Morbius into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Just this movie actually might be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because I think Michael Keaton's going to be in it, and he was in Spider-Man Homecoming. So that this might be the beginning of them bringing that part, the Sony movies, into the cinematic universe, and has Jared Leto in it. And I think
That's what I was gonna
yeah, and I think it's only considered horror because he's like a vampire or something, or he drinks blood, or he's a creature of some sort. So I don't consider those horror movies. They're comic book movies, which can have scary elements to them. But to me, like unless the Doctor Strange movie that's coming out, that's directed by Sam Raimi in a couple years, actually has Sam Raimi horror in it, like Drag Me to Hell, I'm not going to consider that a horror movie either. It's a comic book movie.
Yeah.
It's an action and maybe a thriller. But and then Ghostbusters was listed too. The new Ghostbusters should be coming out this year, but I guess that's a horror. I don't consider the other Ghostbusters horrors. They're comedies. They
Yeah.
have ghosts in them, but they're not really that scary. Maybe when you're a kid, they're scary.
Yeah.
Gateway horror. They're gateway horror.
Mhm.
Dune is supposed to come out this year, which I think was supposed to come out last year as well. And that I know nothing about Dune. Do you know anything about Dune?
Nope. I don't even think I wrote it down.
I know that Dune is more science fiction, but I never saw the original, and I definitely do want to see this remake though because it looks amazing, and maybe I should go and rewatch or watch for the first time the original. But I heard it was awful, for people who at least probably read Dune, which I've never read either, so I might like it. But it's got giant worms in it, so I guess that could be
Oh.
like Tremors.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if it'll be good.
We've got Fear Street coming out. Now, this one is horror, but it's probably more kids' horror because it's based on R.L. Stein's books of Fear Street, and it's a Netflix thing. So this one should be coming out this year. There should be no delays. And it's going to be a trilogy of movies, actually, under the title of Fear Street. Have you read the Fear Street books? I haven't read those.
Oh my gosh, I read so many. They had like I read the Fear Street and then the other ones that were by R.L. Stein for young adults, but didn't have the Fear Street on it. But they had like I did notice in like a lot of his movies he has like females with gender neutral names. One of them was Bobby. So that always stuck out to me. Then they have like they I wish I had my books right here, but they're over there. But they have a lot of good ones, and a lot of like one was Silent Night or something, and she works at a department store, and I think it ended up having 3 movies. It was a trilogy. I mean, 3 books, and I think they explained her as an auburn hair girl, and it's just like explaining what she went through. It to me, I mean, I like Goosebumps. Don't get me wrong, I love Goosebumps, but Fear Street was what I grew up on. Like I started reading those in like 5th grade, and I just loved them. So I think you'll like it too. It's a good.
Yeah, I miss having you ever get the Scholastic book fair, the papers every like couple months or something from school?
Mm-hmm.
I love those. I feel like we need those for adults. Like
For real.
I guess it's kind of what Amazon is like, but I like just having something to like to check off, and then your teacher comes by and drops off the books at your desk.
Always a good day.
And book fairs, traveling book fairs, where they have the bookmobile bus pull up in your school's parking lot, and then they throw up all the cases and display your books. I know you got bookstores, but it's just like I don't know. It's like movie theaters, having something to look forward to go to that you don't usually do. And a bookstore is always there, and that's nice too. And maybe you don't always go to a bookstore, but I don't know. It's like a carnival. I think a carnival is probably more accurate. It's like a carnival. It comes, you get excited for the few days that it's there, and then it's gone, and then it comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that.
I always love those.
Child at heart. Okay, A Quiet Place 2 is another huge one on my list. And that was supposed to come out last year and is now coming out this year, hopefully, knock on wood, that we actually get to see this movie. Now, I admittedly have never seen the first one, but I've had it all spoiled for me. So, what did you think of the first one?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was very intense at how Emily Blunt's character is pregnant throughout it, you know. And then, like, when she goes into labor and just thinking, how are you going to keep that baby quiet so that the monsters don't hear? Like, it's very intense. And then there's a scene with the other kids, and they're like trying to hide from the monsters, and they like hide, what was it, in like a big huge, I don't know the farm tech like terminology, but I want to say it's, I don't know, some kind of huge thing, and it's like grain inside or rice inside, and they're like in there, and John Krasinski's trying to save them. It's really good. I want to see how they, like, what they're gonna do with it next, especially with Cillian Murphy being in it, you know.
He's beautiful. He's very, very beautiful. I recently rewatched 28 Days Later with him in it, and I know that's like the first movie I've ever seen him in. And if you remember, because I hadn't watched anything with him in it for a while. I have never seen Peaky Blinders other than like previews, and I hate that his hair is hiding under every single poster or video I've seen of him on that show, because it's like his hair and his eyes are his best features. Show me that hair.
Don't forget,
Oh well, yeah, they asked to. I think you get to see that in 28 Days Later. Pretty sure.
they show like his junk or someone else's junk pretending to be his. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I felt that, and I'm like, oh, I like started watching it, and my oldest kid was in here with me, and then it's like, boom, there's his manhood, but it's covered in hair. But I was just like, I'm sorry, I was just like, but yeah.
Okay. Well, he's got to learn that this is what you might have when you're it's a boy kid, right? Child. Okay. Yeah. This is like what you might have as an adult. You may want to shave that. You may want to keep that. But there it is.
For real.
Yeah. So that should be an interesting addition to the movie. I want to know how they're going to keep that kid quiet too, because babies cry. How do you stop a baby from crying? Like, I remember they had this whole thing in the series finale. I think it was the finale of MASH, where the mom ends up killing the baby because she couldn't keep it quiet, so they could hide from the enemies or whatever. Yeah, that's why I won't watch MASH, because somebody spoiled that for me on a top 10 worst endings to a show list or something, or saddest endings to a TV series list. I'm like, I don't have any desire to watch that entire show to get to that moment. I'm good. All right. The next one I have, the next one I have on my list is called Last Night in Soho, which is a movie by Edgar Wright. He's going to be the director. Edgar Wright, who did Shaun of the Dead. So I haven't heard anybody talking about this. I didn't know it was coming out until I looked it up. And apparently it was filmed early enough where Diana Rigg, who people might know from the original Avengers TV series, the British, I think they were British, spy series, who also starred in Game of Thrones as Elena Tyrell. And if you are a a Ruth Bader Ginsburg fan, you've seen her body being used with RBG's face. So she's famous from a lot of things like that. But yeah, they're saying that Last Night in Soho is one of Edgar Wright's first non-comedy horror movies. So I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. Apparently, it's about a young girl passionate about fashion design is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s, where she encounters her idol, a dazzling wannabe singer. I'm reading this straight from IMDb. But London at the time is not what it seems, and time seems to fall apart with shady consequences. So it's like a time travel movie, I guess, to the 60s.
I think it sounds really good, and I like that it has Anya Taylor-Joy in there also, because I feel like she's another name who's come up, a lot into horror and stuff.
Yeah, she was in Split and The Witch. Oh, I loved her in The Witch so much. That movie, that's a great movie.
I love it.
Every time I Edgar Wright, I think about Robert Eggers too, who did The Witch. Like, no, that's not the same guy. This is the comedy horror guy. This is the horror guy.
She was in the last season of Peaky Blinders, and I was not a fan of her. But that's the only thing I don't like her in.
Well, Peaky Blinders isn't considered horror, right? It's like
Oh, it's like a gangster thing. Like it has like real people history. Tommy Shelby, the Killing Murphy, he wasn't a real person in history, but like it talks about oh my gosh, Winston Churchill, the fastest leader, I forgot his name. I totally forgot his name. They might be talking about Hitler this year, so but
okay.
It's really interesting, and it's full of hot guys.
Well, that sold me on it right there. Right, that's why I need to watch the show Outlander. All my older, like, I have lady friends who are with kids and stuff, and they're almost 50 and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you have to watch Outlander because it's got this beautiful redheaded Scottish dude on it, and he's naked all the time." So I have stars, and I do eventually plan on watching that, but I haven't yet. And I saw that him and one of the other characters from Outlander are now having their own like reality television show where they're just traveling throughout Scotland and seeing the different sites. So I watch that. Okay, so the next there's a small movie on this list where there's no information on it except for the cast list, and I don't think it's considered horror either, but as a video gamer and as a person who has watched a lot of people play video games on my end, I think it's really exciting and it could be a horror type of movie. And I'm talking about the remake of Mortal Kombat.
That is, I did not even know that.
Yeah, that is supposed to come out this year. That could change because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of information out right now. But yeah, Mortal Kombat is supposed to be coming out. There's a cast list, and I'm not even sure who the director is. But what I can tell you is that Robin Shou, who played the original Liu Kang in the original movies, is not going to be on this, and that's a huge letdown because he's just so. I mean, he's an amazing actor. He could be a great like mentor to people. He could be Raiden and just dye his hair or put on a wig that's white. Like,
Yeah.
I loved Christopher Lambert. Don't get me wrong. When he played Raiden in the first one, should have never replaced him in the sequel. That stupid fucking worst movie sequel ever. But Raiden is supposed to be Asian, I think. So it's kind of weird that they put an American in his place to begin with. And even when they replaced him, it was with another American dude.
That's innocent.
Having Robin Shou be Raiden would be appropriate and amazing, but they're not going to do that. So that's that. But yeah, look out for that. Hopefully they can stick to that timeline because I want to see how that turns out. The next movie on my list brings back Jordan Peele again, and it's called Abruptio or Abruptio. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. It's Abruptio, and it is a movie with puppets. It's gonna be a movie with puppets as the characters. And oh my god, this cast list, man. Not only does it have Jordan Peele, but it has James Marsters, who played Spike on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh my gosh.
Robert Englund, Chris McDonald, who you might know from the Happy Gilmore movie. He was the enemy guy. He's been on 1,000 other things, but that's what I know him from the most. And because this was filmed in 2015, Sid Haig.
Oh.
I know.
That's going to be really great.
Yeah. That when I read that, I was like, oh my god. Like, I guess it took him that long to do all the voice acting that went into this movie. And I haven't seen a preview for it yet. I'm not sure if it's available. I just didn't see it when I looked it up. But yeah, that's a huge cast list. I don't even care what it's about. Just the cast list alone makes me want to watch it. It's apparently about a guy down on his luck who wakes to find an explosive device has been implanted in his neck. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Just reading that. Oh man, that yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Like, I will watch that the day it comes out. just because it sounds so outrageous and the people behind it sound God. Like, okay, the director is Evan Marlowe. Do I know Evan Marlowe from anything? I don't think I've seen anything he's done. Like, there's movies on here, but I've never heard of him before. Yeah. So that cast list, that's a commanding cast list. I'm excited for that one. Uh, did you hear about this movie, or is this news to you too?
That's news to me. I have not heard about it.
According to this, let's see, is there a set time this is coming out? Yeah, I'm not seeing a set time. Like there it says 2021, but there's no release date yet. So hopefully it'll still come out this year. But yeah, I will keep that on the top of my list of things to watch. All right, the next movie I have on my list is called The Green Knight, which I completely forgot was coming out. And it is the next big A24 movie that's coming out.
Ooh.
Yo, I love so much of what A24 does. I think that it's probably the one of the best horror production companies that's out right now.
I feel the same way.
Uh, I don't know a ton about the movie itself. I saw the preview. I know it's like a knight's like obviously it's in the title, but like a King Arthur type. Oh, it's actually about Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which I think is connected to King Arthur in history. But it's supposed to be horror and gory. And I keep saying Green Knight, but all I can think about is the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That's all that's in my head. Just it's a flesh wound, and he doesn't want to die. And I wonder. I don't know a lot about the Green Knight, so I wonder if they share the same qualities where he just can't be killed. So that is coming out this year. This is another one that was supposed to come out in 2020 that got pushed. And okay, July. It's supposed to come out July 30th of this year. So it's going to be a midsummer uh type of release date. So I don't know if there's huge names in it or it's going to be I don't recognize a lot. Oh, Joel Edgerton will be in it. And
I don't remember who that is.
he was in the movie The Gift that came out a couple years ago, where I didn't watch The Gift either, but I know everybody seemed to love it that watched it. I think it's a guy who was friends with this couple that they weren't married when they knew each other, but from like high school, and I think he knows both of them. But the gift that he provides is something he knows about them that's really like I think blackmail. This is what I'm getting from the preview. So I think the whole thing is that the gift is not really a gift. The gift is that they can't fucking get rid of this guy who is trying to destroy their lives or control them.
I get that one and the box confused. Which one is the gift? Is that the one with James Marsden and Cameron Diaz, or is that the box? And because I know one of them had Jason Bateman, I think.
Okay, so Cameron Diaz and James Marsters is the box, and Jason Bateman is the gift. So, but yeah, a young married couple's lives are thrown into a harrowing tailspin when an acquaintance from the husband's past, okay, he only knows the husband, brings mysterious gifts and a horrifying secret to light after more than 20 years. So yeah, so that everybody who's watched that seems to have loved it. Everyone who's watched The Box, on the other hand, seems to hate it. And I've only seen bits and pieces of it, and I kind of get why they hate it. But the previews look good. And I think the movie posters are very similar from what I can remember. And I think that's why people confuse the two. Because I think the same thing when I hear The Gift and The Box.
I thought they were both really good. I actually like The Box also.
I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, but I think The Gift was better. I remember more what happens on the end of the box though than I do The Gift, which I don't know, but
it was aliens, wasn't it? In the box? Or yeah, in the box. It was like some sort of alien trick to see if or maybe the aliens were supposed to be God or something. And it's like nobody ever chooses not to take the money or whatever. It's like it's a whole mission or not mission, a whole tale moral about humanity and how we're all greedy.
I just remember the man from the beginning being disfigured, and then like It seemed like they fell from the ceiling at one point and had like water with it or something. I can't remember everything, but
Let's see. He's in a few things I've heard of, but I haven't seen. He was in The Great Gatsby. He played Tom Buchanan, but I never saw that either. But I know that story. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay. I know what I remember him from. I just rewatched this too. He was in the prequel to John Carpenter's The Thing that came out in 2011 with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
okay.
He was the guy who was the cool helicopter guy who was supposed to be like Kurt Russell, and he had the earring. And then, spoiler alert, because this entire podcast is spoilers, he got changed by the Thing at the very end, and she knew it because he was missing his earring.
Oh damn.
Yeah, that I remember. I watched that while I was in a bubble bath a few weeks ago. I like, you know what? I get the practical effects of the Thing are so timeless that I understand why people didn't like the prequel because of that. But in terms of story and connecting the two stories, I thought it was absolutely perfect. It filled in some gaps. You know things about the creature that you don't know from the original the Thing with John Carpenter, which I know isn't the original, but in terms of that storyline, the original movie, like you don't know watching John Carpenter's The Thing that the Thing can't recreate metal in a human body. Like if you have metal fillings, they won't be there when it recreates you. So I would love to see a sequel to The Thing where that knowledge somehow gets carried over. Because as far as we know, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character is still alive by the end of that. So she's just, while the guys in the helicopter are shooting a dog running towards the Americans, she goes off to find Russians, I think, that are also in the area. So I want to see a sequel that connects the two. But bring back the practical effects.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do a run through of the movies that are left on this list of mine. We have The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. We have Kilroy Was Here, which is a Kevin Smith horror comedy coming out. And it's an anthology which stars Chris Jericho. So I know our friend Scary Godmother will love that.
Mm-hmm.
You got Halloween Kills, which I know we've talked about before, and I've talked about on my videos before. My big fear with that is that they're going to kill off Jamie Lee Curtis and just use her as a memory in Halloween Ends. So I'm really hoping they don't do that. Wrong Turn remake or reboot, whatever. So I haven't even seen a preview for this yet. Have you seen a preview for it yet?
Yeah, it's out there now. And Damien Maffei plays the deer skull. Like, so I don't think there's going to be like Three Finger or Buzzsaw, whatever his name is, whatever all their names are, or something toe. But I do see that one of the killers is Deer Skull, and that's the guy from Strangers Who Pray at Night. But it looks, it looks pretty good. Like I'm about to. I rewatched Wrong Turn the other day, but I'm gonna have to rewatch all of them to prepare again.
Well, that should be exciting. There's Someone Inside Your House is coming out February 2021, and that is going to be produced by James Wan, but not directed by him. And it's coming to Netflix, and it's a American slasher movie, and that's all I really know about that one. The Forever Purge, which I have not seen any of the Purge movies. I want to watch them. It just seems like a pretty easy concept to grasp. So I need to be in a mood where I can pay attention and not let my mind drift, I guess, because I feel like I'll drift a lot on those. But I think this is supposed to be the last Purge, but I'm not sure about that.
Josh Lucas in it because I love him.
Nice. Okay. We have Army of the Dead, which is a zombie film, a zombie heist film, they're calling it, directed by Zack Snyder. Willy's Wonderland, which sounds like a guy needs to find something that got stolen and has escaped into this place called Willy's Wonderland. So it's like the Funhouse Massacre, but meets the color out of space. The lead character looks like it's Nicolas Cage, but I'm not sure it is Nicolas Cage because I dive deeper into that one.
Yeah.
The Fear of Rain, which is this one comes out in February, which is a woman with schizophrenia thinks her new neighbor stole a child. So it's about her having hallucinations and being super paranoid, and you don't know if her visions, her schizophrenia is making her think this, or if the guy actually stole a child. Uh, Children of the Corn remake, which I think was also supposed to come out in 2020. A movie called In the Earth, which is directed by Ben Wheatley, who directed The Kill List, which is, I think, one of like people's top 10 movies over the last couple of years. I'm not sure when exactly Kill List came out, but he directed that one that's coming out this year. Uh, then there's Old, which is an M. Night Shyamalan movie that I had no idea was coming out, and it's based on a novel called Sandcastles, and that is all I really know about that. And that's coming out in July as well.
Can
And
I add interject? That one has Alex Wolff from Hereditary, and then Abby Lee Kershaw. I think she's an Australian model, but she was also in the Neon Demon. So it kind of makes me really excited too. Like I feel like they're gonna have really good on-screen chemistry for some reason. And like you, I didn't know until last night. So I'm really looking forward to that.
and then the final movie I have on my list is Terrifier 2.
Yes.
I finally got to see that movie, Terrifier 1, last year on one of my Twitter watches that I do on Thursdays. And I loved it. Like we first watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and then we watched Terrifier, and I'm like, these two movies are not the same at all. Killer Clowns, I'm laughing the entire time. Terrifier 1, I'm like, he split a woman in half.
Yeah.
But awesome. So I'm excited to see Terrifier 2.
They say that there is a certain kill in there that's either supposed to live up to the hype or of the first, or be better. I think they might have said be better, but I'm going to say live up to the hype because I don't want to misquote, which still could be misquoting. But yeah, that's going to be great. And then Lauren Lepre, who did The Dark Military, he's coming out with Dark Military 2, and he did the COVID 2024. He has a role in Terrifier 2.
Nice.
That's cool. Could you imagine being in one of the films? Like,
now I would love that. I would love to be picked up for a movie where they get to cut me in half or something, but not like for real, because snuff films exist. But
yeah.
where I get to pretend to die or be a final girl and hold an axe or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything on your list that we haven't discussed?
I'll go through real quick. The Sleep is supposed to be coming out this year, which I've talked to you about it before. It's like I don't know how they categorize it. I would say it's something like a psychological horror. And then Tales of a Scorpio Stinger 2. I think it's going to be The Cat's Meow. I think that might be either in production or coming out this year. Same with The Dark Military 2. The Mom movie. I can't remember if that already came out. It's M.O.M. or if it's coming out this year. And then Butcher's Bluff, that has Elsie Holt, who played Lamb Mask from Your Next. And just the Butcher's Bluff, kind of reminds me of like, oh my gosh, My Bloody Valentine. So, because what is it, Valentine's Bluff in there or something? So I think that's really exciting too. And then there's another Jared Leto film, The Little Things, with Denzel.
I just saw the preview for that too. Yeah.
And I got Prisoners of the Ghostland. I don't really know what that was about, but it had a good cast. I think it had one of the Stranger Things guys in it. Not the Joe Keery. Was it Stranger Things or was it from It? Oh my gosh. And then Dark Harvest, but I don't really remember what that was about, but it was enough for me to write it down.
Are you talking about the kid with the glasses from It, who's also in Stranger Things? He's the one who's in love with Millie Bobby Brown's character in Stranger Things. Finn Wolf something. His name is Finn Wolf something.
Yeah, he has kind of long,
black hair, right?
It's darker hair and it's kind of maybe a little above shoulder length, collarbone area. Yeah. I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
The same kid who was in The Turning from last year?
I think so.
Okay. What you're talking about.
But anyway, that's what I have.
All right. Well, that is the end of our list. Very extensive. Hopefully everything comes out when it's supposed to this year. Keep your fingers crossed. I know I will. What do you have going on this week?
Oh, can I add 2 more that I forgot about?
Go ahead.
They're the indie horror for Time's Up and On Location, which is also Damien Maffei, Elsie Holt, and Hannah Fearman of Siren. I know I talked about it on previously, but On Location is going to have David Howard Thornton in it. Like it's no, Time's Up is not On Location, but I think those are going to be great. So I hope that they come out this year. I know they're in production, but anyway.
Sweet.
And what I have coming up, I have 2 interviews tomorrow night, and then just pretty much just preparation for Heather Loves Horror stuff, and then what our next May Queens. So
oh yeah,
that's pretty much.
The next one's gonna be pretty big too because it's the Kevin Bacon episode. So I'm excited about that. I have Tremors on VHS, so I have to watch that. It's been a while. I just rewatched Friday the 13th, so I think I could skip that. And then there's something on YouTube. I think in my preparation for this, I think I sent you a link in the original list to be able to find that movie. And then there's like other stuff I haven't seen before that I need to watch. Oh, and my favorite, Stir of Echoes that I have on DVD. So excited to rewatch that. For me, I'm trying to get back into my YouTubing, but because of technical difficulties, I keep getting pushed to the side. But I have filmed 6 out of 7 videos that will all be dropping next week, 1 a day. It's kind of my preparation for the big things that I'll be dropping. These videos are going to be small, but I'm calling them horror games. And they're literally going to be games that you can play through YouTube. There's a Find the Differences game I'm going to have on there for the first one. The last one's going to be insane. I haven't filmed it yet. And they're going to be short little things just to, give you some content while you're waiting for my big stuff to come out, like Cat Coven, that I keep talking about and I still haven't finished. But those should all be done and edited by the end of the day tomorrow because they're not that hard to edit now that I've got the technical difficulties figured out. And then I'm going to upload them so that they can be scheduled to post. And I will try to get them out, I think 7 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, starting Monday through Sunday. And then back to regularly scheduled stuff. So look forward to that. Tonight is Terror Tuesdays. When this comes out, it'll be a few days ago. And we're watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the remake with Donald Sutherland.
And is Nicole Kidman in it? Or?
No, that's Invasion, which was another remake of the movie.
Oh, I didn't know there were 2. Okay, so
there's actually there's a few different ones. There's the original was in the 50s. Then there was the Donald Sutherland one. I feel like there was one in the 90s that came out. I know I think it was Real Queen of Horror on Instagram, who has a YouTube channel as well. She talked about all the remakes except for the one with Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig. Bond was the guy in that movie. But I have that one on DVD too, actually. But yeah, so there's like 4 different versions of this movie, and I will be watching the most classic of them all, which is the Donald Sutherland Brooke Adams one. So that should be about it for now.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to your Terror Tuesday tonight.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to your next podcast.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Make sure that if you are watching on YouTube or if you're listening to this on the podcast, that you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, because who knows what crazy things you're going to be able to see versus what you're going to be able to hear. If you like our podcast, feel free to, give us a rating of stars. We prefer 4 or 5 stars, whatever, but you do you and rate us however. And that's about it. Thanks for joining us, for watching. I'll see you in a week.
All right. See you soon. Thanks, y'all.